Hey, it's been a while, so I figured I would make a video. Today is one of my days off, so Cooper and I are going for a walk. We came down to Belle so that he could play in the river a little bit. It's actually like perfect weather because it is super nice outside, probably like 65 degrees out. So not super sweaty. It does kind of look like, if you look at the clouds, it does kind of look like it's getting a little cloudy, and we've been caught on Belle Isle before when there's a huge storm, so definitely don't want to do that again. I am not a huge fan of walking dogs in the city, mainly because you have to clean up after them after they use the bathroom. And normally Cooper gets walked twice a day, one time at 6 a.m. and then 6 p.m. So I figured that I would be safe because this isn't his normal schedule. So I was like, he probably doesn't really need to go. He's gone 3 times already, so I've had to clean it up 3 times, and I'm not a fan. I definitely did my bit of gagging and trying not to puke in front of people, but I guess that's something you have to get used to when you have a dog in the city. But I'm definitely not a pro at it. I almost got it on myself, so that was something I was not too excited about. But I decided to take a walk today, or I was told to take a walk today by someone, just because I needed to clear my head a little bit, just because there's been a lot going on in my life, and it's just good to kind of get out and clear your head a little bit when you kind of got too many things floating around in your head. I needed to get some positive thoughts thrown in there, and as you all know, nature is kind of my place that I go when I need to get out of my own head. So that's what Cooper and I are doing today. Getting out of my head, getting into nature, and just kind of having a fun day outside by the river. You definitely find more interesting structures built in nature in the cities compared to when you're out in nature in the middle of nowhere in the mountains. Someone's got to stop and smell all the other animals that are here in the forest with us. But one thing that I am currently working on is trying to create a community here in Richmond, because I've been here for over a year now, with a small gap where I went to North Carolina. But for the most part, I haven't really made any connections here with people, mainly because everything I've done has been work from home, seminars and stuff online, and all the people I've been making friends with have been virtual. So when my lease ended back in May, it kind of made me realize, since my sister and I weren't going to be living with each other anymore, I was just like, wow, I really don't have a lot of connections here in Richmond. So I'm looking into small business groups and entrepreneurial groups here in Richmond, mainly because I feel like I keep running into roadblocks when it comes to growing my business. I felt like I kind of plateaued for a little bit, and then I feel like I came against a couple walls that just kind of knocked me off my feet when it came to stability. So I'm really trying to kind of branch out, meet and make new friends that kind of get it, that kind of understand the difficulties of running a business. And I think that once I kind of start making those types of connections, I think that it will be really beneficial to me, and I will start making some like really good adult friendships where we can just kind of hang out, have a good time, while also occasionally talking about the ups and downs and the tricks of the small business world, just because I feel like every single time I figure out there's something I don't know, when I go to start exploring that, I find out that there's a lot that I don't know, and that it gets a little bit overwhelming. So my hope is that it will feel a little less overwhelming once I kind of get my feet wet in Richmond when it comes to meeting other people. But I'm also searching for an apartment. It's crazy because apartments right now in the city, most of them are $1,000 and up. And then of course, utilities and all of those costs are kind of high. So it's scary when you own your own business and you work in a commission-based job, and it's never for certain how much you're going to make. So that's something that I've definitely been stressed about when it comes to finding an apartment and signing a lease somewhere where it's over $1,000 just for rent, because I'm the type of person that I would like to kind of live somewhere where I'm able to put money aside into my savings account as well. I don't like kind of living off of everything that I'm making. So I'm hoping that I either find an affordable place, or I am able to find a roommate that I can live with, because I mean, some of the places that are just kind of decent, they're not like amazing, but they're just kind of like decent. Like most of those are like $1,200, $1,300, and that's just the apartment. That's not utilities included. Of course, they like to throw in that you have to pay for parking as well. So it's just been a process, and I'm trying my best to kind of stay positive about all of it. I went back onto Clubhouse today for the first time and joined my friend Val's room, where she talked about different types of fatigue. And I feel like that was a very eye-opening conversation for me, because I'm realizing that there's definitely a lot of things that I'm going through that are just exhausting me, and I'm realizing that that's probably why it's harder for me to kind of have higher spirits about all of this and keep putting myself into positions where I'm constantly like trying new things and risking failing, because failure requires a specific type of energy to kind of overcome things when you try something and it doesn't work out. So hopefully I kind of get things in line. Sorry, I was trying to go down a path, but it ended up being a dead end. I guess that happens when you're on an island, but there are gnats flying all over my face. But I guess it's just taking one thing at a time. The trick is that I've learned is that you can't stop. You have to keep going. And even when my keep going is really low and not in the best of spirits, that's better than stopping and calling it quits. So I'm just trying to figure all of that out. And I know that it's really important to kind of have people around you that are inspiring and lift you up and feed your energy and keep you in a higher frequency. So I've been trying to do that as well. I know that when it comes to everything that I've been doing with the moving and all the new things I'm trying with my business, like money is just like flying out of my pocket, whereas like not a lot is flying back into it. So I'm having to kind of adjust those things as well until I kind of hit a landing spot to kind of build a firm foundation to kind of bounce back from. I think that in the past, I've always had other people in my life that I've kind of leaned on, whether it was just to kind of have someone to talk to when I come home from work, or if it was someone that I lived with so that things weren't super expensive. So now, since I've experienced what it's like to kind of have the world kind of fall out from under my feet because I depended on people, I'm learning that I'm going to have to try to do things on my own for once, which is a little scary. So yeah, when it comes to living by myself, like, I think that that will be a good place for me to kind of start to build a foundation that doesn't require someone else to kind of be there, because I think that in the past I've always kind of been very dependent on other people playing a specific role in my life, and when they kind of just bolt or disappear and no longer play their part, a lot of the things that I've put so much time and effort into start to come undone. So I'm learning that now it's kind of better to kind of create a foundation where I'm stable because of the hard work that I've put in, and there isn't anyone other than myself that can kind of pull out, because life has enough kind of unexpected things that come up that you can't plan for, that you don't really want to kind of lay the foundation of your business or your life in someone else's hands and in someone else's words, because I think in a lot of those instances, sometimes not even it being anyone's fault, people aren't as reliable when it comes to being like supporting column or supporting foundation for you and the things that you work towards in life. So I'm working really hard to kind of stabilize myself right now, and then once that happens, I'm going to start growing in the direction that I want to take things in life. There you go. You did it. You getting in the nasty water? Super. You better shake. You gonna jump? Gonna jump? Oh. Come on. Ugh. You almost had it, Cooper. You almost had it. Ooh. Okay, so I guess that is a wrap for this video. I just want to say thank you all for supporting me here on Patreon. And like my previous notifications have said, my posts on Instagram, I am going to be doing positive talks in a little bit of a different way than I have in the past. I'm going to be creating a Zoom room that anyone who's here on Patreon can come and join. And instead of it just being a conversation between me and the guests that I bring on, it's going to be an open space for all of you all to contribute as well and ask your questions if you have any. I just think that positive talks have been going on for a while. I mean, I've got over 230 episodes on my website. So I figured that one of the big things that I've always tried to create for myself, as well as anyone that I work with when it comes to coaching, is a community. And the book that I'm writing, well, I guess I should say the book that I've written and am in the process of getting it published now, is all about the community that I've built for myself. And you all are part of that community as much as the people who have come on to my positive talks. So I just wanted to kind of link those worlds together. And I mean, I was really in love with the whole Clubhouse platform, minus the fact that sometimes trolls got into the rooms and kind of stirred up the harmony of the room or space. But for the most part, I felt like that was kind of a really cool concept. So that's kind of where I'm going with the concept of positive talks. I don't care if it's just me, my guest, and one other person having a conversation. I think that it will still be phenomenal. I will still be recording those and posting them on my YouTube channel and posting the link here on Patreon for people to rewatch them if you missed them. I will kind of ask around to kind of see what time works best for everyone, just so that everyone that wants to join can join. But ultimately, I'm going to be doing as many of those as I can that fits into my schedule and my new foundation that I've created for myself, because there's definitely a lot of work that goes into everything that I'm doing, and I want to make sure that I'm not exhausting myself. Got to keep my frequencies up high, because like I said, every time I jump for something new, I have to have the energy to kind of see that through and make it successful, because believe it or not, things like this don't kind of create their own success. It's whatever resources and energy I can put into it that creates whatever the outcomes are. So I have to make sure that I am putting myself in a position to win. So once again, thank you all so much for all the support that you've been giving me. Thank you all for being here on Patreon and supporting me in this way. Believe it or not, it does mean a lot to me, knowing that there's people who are willing to kind of help me kind of move forward in my goals in life. But I will try my best to kind of keep this content pumping out now that I'm starting to find a little bit more stability after my life has kind of been shaken up. But like always, feel free to send me any messages I try to answer all the private messages that you all send me here on Patreon as quickly as I can. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye.